This guy goes,
Oh yeah, you look good with the suit. Really good.
I look good in anything, bro. Come on.
No, but it's better than the fucking bathrobe, you know.
Leave my bathrobe alone. We're
This looks
alive,
legit,
sir.
man. This look like the thing you have on the screen right now
Oh,
that I'm looking at
that
looks
old thing?
fucking legit.
I clean up
Everything.
nice. Everybody knows I clean up nice. Come on.
Are we live? Could people hear us
Yeah,
or
I told you we're
no?
live.
Oh shit.
It's
So
all
for
right,
me, it says
man.
waiting. It says waiting right now. Oh shit,
Oh,
there it is.
there it is. What's
Yeah.
up, everybody? All right, let me throw the tweet out. Let them know. Gotta let them know. This thing. I mean, I swear they should make this easier for old people like me. You know, I do everything like very bootleg, but at the at the end. So what I do now is I open up the stream and then I copy the link at the top. Then I go into Twitter. We are live. Cardi, Playboy
Going
Cardi in
on?
the house.
Going on?
Everybody say hi, man. This guy's story is crazy. Wait till you hear this. This is some shit I couldn't even made it up. Right?
Yeah, fuck, man.
It's
Like,
pretty crazy. What's up,
crazy how you like a
everybody?
long road, man. Long road.
Yeah, it's been a long road. So, like, Cardi, like, tell him, like, how did we meet? How did we
So
meet?
the story is like my best friend got me into crypto, and then he joined the dojo actually, but he's like pretty busy with business. So he said, "Here, take over my membership, and like just like if anything crazy happens, just tell me."
If anything crazy happens.
Yeah, this is like in the peak mania. This is the peak mania before like the bull run, right? So he says, "Yo, like just tell me anything. Just you have more time to be in there." He said, "So just like give me any signals or whatever, and I'll buy it." And so I ended up going in there, and then after a while, he said, "I'm not going to renew because I can't. I'm not like I'm going to like hold everything I have." So then I said, like, okay, like I'm just going to go in there, and I went. I mean, like I was in there a lot, and I mean, like I said, like I made like the most money I ever made in crypto with the altcoins, obviously in the bubble there. With you calling like Lux, like I got like a 45x on that
Yeah, it
thing.
was
Like
crazy.
Then I made like a 30x, and I was like, oh, which is now vet. I was like, oh shit, So I felt kind of loyal to you because I made like all this money with these like
These are the calls that they
right?
don't tell you about. And people always want to bring out cash. Like I was the only person that was wrong about altcoins in 2018. But in the beginning, like you can't deny. Like I was like Portnoy of crypto. Let's put it that way.
Man, it was like
Just shilling
anything
the
you
shit out
call
of
money,
coins.
bro.
30x's, EOS, vet. I
It was
mean,
fucking wild, man.
it
It
was
was
wild
wild.
time. So Cardi was a member, and like, I mean, what? So after obviously the bubble popped, then like, what did you do? Because I remember it as it was happening, but why don't you tell the people about like kind of how you changed your own style and what you did to go from like an alt hodler pleb to Tradeboi Carti.
So listen, like I'm like I'm pretty old. I'm 35 years old. So I like
Doxing the age.
I got yeah, it's all right. I got my undergrad degree in finance, and I was always like an investor in stocks, like nothing crazy, like working in the finance field after I played pro hockey and stuff like that. And
See, this guy is like the chattiest guy you've ever seen. I mean, no, I'm serious. I've seen him. He looks like a cop kind of. He's
well,
got that
relax,
look like a good
relax.
looking cop.
Yeah, I
But
don't
this
know. I don't know
guy
if you could
Cardi
be
is a
like,
fucking Chad. He's such a Chad. Pro hockey. Like what?
well, fucking minor league, man, minor league. You probably make more at McDonald's, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I got into. I was like doing stuff in finance, like as an analyst and like investing and stuff like that. And
Right.
like when in traditional investing, there's two like schools, right? There's the FA or the TA, and some guys hate the TA, some guys hate the
It both
FA.
puts you in the same
like,
place if you're good at it, right?
yeah, like and I was working more on the side, like the wealth management shit. So like, there's no only FA. Like, who cares about like the TA? Like if you buy a stock over the next 50 years, you're gonna make money. So it's not so hard,
That's
But
true.
crypto is like its own beast, right? So it was one thing when I entered, and I got it in late 2016, and like I wasn't as intense as I was in the bubble, pre-bubble, you want to say, and even in the altcoin run, you could hold a bit and make some money, and. I remember we were in the dojo at first. People were talking about like BitMEX in November, and I think I messaged you. I was like, "Yo, they offer 100x leverage there," and you're like, "Yeah, it's crazy. Watch out over there." I said, "Well, I'm gonna go."
I'm gonna go.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
And
I ain't mad at you.
listen, like if I go into my emails right now, I can find the liquidation notices right off the bat. Like I just wanted to test it out, and I threw some money on there, but I didn't care if I got liquidated because everything was printing money. So I think my first trade there was like something like, I don't know, like 50,000 contracts instantly liquidated. Which is not like crazy big, but I'm just saying like.
Dude, I just remembered something. You remember when I first started trading BitMEX? And I think I sent you a DM with a screenshot. I like made some trade, and I made like 1 or 2 BTC in like fucking a half an hour or some shit. And I was like, "Yo," I'm like, "This is so easy."
Yeah,
I was YOLOing in like 500,000 contracts, and like I was like, I think the words were, "If I could just make 10,000 a day, this would be great." And you're like, "What the fuck?"
That's it. Crazy,
you know what I'm talking about, right? You remember that?
It's fucking wild. Yeah, it was hilarious. It was hilarious, wild. Man. We were all like that. I remember the most money I ever made on BitMEX to this day was like. It was like 2018. I think I caught the bottom, and like I went all in like at 25 times leverage. So people say like, okay, like leverage doesn't matter. Like I took my whole account on BitMEX and did 25x, and just fucking longed it.
Yeah,
and like I went from like 7K to 9K, and I made a killing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit. And that's actually, to be honest, like if you make a big move like that, like some gambling play, and you make money on it. Like that's the worst thing that can happen to you for these like margin exchanges. Like we'll go into that.
You'll always be chasing that trade again.
Always. Oh, you think it's easy? I'll just take a little loss here. I'll take a little loss here. Don't worry. Play with like I'm playing with house money. And before you know it, like you're throwing another $1,000 on there. You're throwing another 2,000. Like what you could afford to lose, right?
Yep.
And it was at that point where like I never really listen. I was exposed to TA when I was doing my my MBA. When I was in my undergrad, I was exposed to small. So I just started doing the research, and literally just like the basics, and I never got into like the clouds or anything like that. Like just the support resistance.
Bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it works for some people. It doesn't. Like I never did Bollinger Bands or anything like that. I didn't want to make it too complicated. I did get into the order blocks for a bit, and those worked.
Yeah.
From Trader Main, like he brought them to CT, but I always reverted back to like support and resistance, and and I had to like you're in crypto, you got to learn quick, right? And I don't believe in like the paper trading or the demo trades or anything like that. So support resistance, I wanted to do it properly. I started off small, and I developed like a made me successful. For if you want to say 2018 up until I did pretty well until the 6K break, and the 6K break hurt me. I'll admit that. Not like it didn't hurt me like where I lost all my account. I probably lost like 7 or 8% on that one move, and like whatever, like luckily enough, my TA skills have been like honed over time. And if you look at my crypto Twitter, like I was able to call, and I have it as a pinned message. Maybe I should change it because it's so old. But I called like the end of the bear market, right? So
yeah. No, I mean, I watched it happen very quickly because, like as a spectator, you can see these things. But to you, was there one moment that was like a turning point where you went from like a guy that's learning to someone that starts to feel confident that you can do this over and over and over again and make a career out of it, per se?
You know what? I think the bet, like for let's say someone who's like trying to get into crypto full time, like I said, I think the worst thing you could do is like win. Because you get cocky super quick,
right?
And these exchanges are made to like take all your money away, and you should recognize that. Like, not like the Bitcoin price action. Forget about that. The exchanges, these margin exchanges, are really made to take your money away. We could get back into that later, but when I really just thought that, like, if you want to say, really figured out that this was for me, I would say, listen, like I was always an altcoin guy, just because that was my nature when I got into crypto. Um, but like I would just look at charts and it was like I kept saying like, man, these have zero floors. Like they just keep making new lows, and I'm like, I can't hold anymore. Like this isn't investing. Like this is a speculative space, and you're just competing against speculators. So like it's like penny stocks, like small cap penny stocks. You can't really invest in those. If you're better off trading them. So I said, you know what, like. Like I said, I want to learn the skill properly. And I also said to myself, listen, like, I don't know at the time, I was like, I don't know if I want to be a trader as a career, but should I ever, be unemployed or whatnot, at least I have trading where I could, I have a skill that's full.
Yeah.
Whether
it's
it be
something
for
that
extra
nobody,
income
I mean,
or
once you know
full-time
how to
job.
do it, it's something that people can't take away from you,
Yeah.
Like,
this is like a pretty good skill.
This is a hard ass game. Don't get it twisted. Like, to be
Yeah.
consistently profitable over time takes a ton of discipline. It's not glamorous. This shit is hard. There's nothing easy about this. And the long story short is Cardi went from a member who was Signal Sir, Target Sir, to an admin now. And I watched it all happen right in front of me. And it was pretty awesome, and I love working with this guy. So within the dojo we have different sections, right? So we do altcoins. So you have altcoin trades and altcoin chat. We do margin trades, where those just a read only, and then margin chat. But for the past year, like it's like with margin trades, like me and Cardi have been like super active, right? Like this guy is always every day, he's on top of it. So today, me personally, I stopped trading this wave like a few weeks ago. I was like, I don't want to fuck with this anymore. Like, I'll make a couple trades here and there, like more like swing trades. So we caught one last week. The entry was good. It was on this wick somewhere, like right here. But make like one trade a week. And Cardi's still plugging away on the low time frames. So I know people always ask me, like, can you teach us more about scalp trading, day trading? People want to constantly trade. And it's not for everybody. Like, but at the end of the day, like, I've seen you do it very, very successfully day in and day out. And for instance, today you caught the short at like pretty much right around the open, right when people were getting excited. You called short and your stop was above the open. And we went to 92.20. So tell us a little bit. I have your chart. This is your chart in front of me right now. So you want to talk about this chart and tell me a little bit about what went into that trade today. Mind you, I did call the long on the bounce. So Cardi got the short, and I got the long.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like I'm just gonna preface before I go into the chart there. What was great about having you in the dojo, and when there's really good action, not like this like low time frame, or so you want to say high time frame chop, but like for the low time frame players, this works. But when we're trending or we're having like crazy volatility, like having you in the dojo. Just in the chat section is amazing because you and I bounced ideas off each other, and it's not like if you go to the opposite side of me, it doesn't shake me out, but it makes me say, okay, like let me take a look at what I'm seeing here. Okay, I agree with KJ or I don't. Maybe I should take a second look at the trade, but at the end of the day, it's always good to bounce your ideas off someone.
Yes,
who's knowledgeable in trading, and you don't have to agree with them, but you just maybe want to see what they're seeing, and
it gives you a different perspective. Like 100, I second that 100%. So, like, for instance, you said like I was like, yeah, like I'm longing here, like 93.20 or something like that. Like set a TP. My TP was at 94.90. Cardi goes, over 9,500, this shit is going to rip, So I'm like, all right, we're both looking at the same area. And then when it spikes up just now, like a couple hours ago, it was at 95.60-ish. And it was doing on a low time. Here, this is what it was doing on the 1 minute. This is where it was. So right here, it made this structure here, which, the people in the dojo know I look for this. But I'm not going to elaborate. I don't want to give you guys too much. But I didn't love it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to take some profit here. Because also in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, Cardi's also kind of looking 94.90, 9,500. It has to get over that. And it didn't. So you know what? This is a nice trade. The RR was good. I'll take profit here. I don't mind. And then it falls back down. Now we'll see. I'm curious to get your take on what it's doing right now. But, just to echo on what Cardi's saying, having, even if, you don't have to be in a private group, you don't have to be in a paid group, whatever the case may be, but you want to be around people that know what the fuck they're doing, or at least trying to get better. Like, to be in a community where people are trying to get better, trading actively, and discussing their point of view is so valuable to a trader. Like, if you're just sitting there by yourself on your cell phone on your lunch break, you're not going to do well, most likely, right? Like, at the end of the day, you want to be around people that are taking notes, learning from their mistakes, not making the same mistake over and over and over again, and really looking. Because you know what, and I wanted to talk to you about this, but some traders say, like, master one instrument, master one asset first, and only trade that asset. And I've heard that works well. So, I can't, as somebody that's, like, compared to people that have been around for decades, I'm newer, so I can't say that doesn't make sense. But what we do is we're looking for, stuff that makes sense on the chart, stuff that looks very clear. And if the asset that we trade is kind of doing something that's uncertain, I'm the type that I'm just going to leave it alone. I'm like, all right, BTC is doing something fucked up here. I'd rather wait till it does something that's, like, clear to me. So, for instance, in this wave, I want to see it break out, or I want to see it go to resistance or support, and then I'll play that. And obviously at support, I'm longing, and at resistance, I'm shorting. But in the middle, maybe I just won't fuck with that. So if you have a group of people that are constantly looking at all sorts of different markets and assets, you have a whole bunch of different sets of eyes that can identify high probability setups, and you're all kind of looking and you're talking. I mean, that's what you should do. So like I said, if you don't want to join the dojo or whatever, like, you don't want to join another group, like, create your own group of a small amount of people and work together. It's teamwork. Kaz taught me that, like, teamwork makes the dream work. That shit works. So, that's the takeaway from me.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, there was a time where I think we were in the 7Ks before the run to 10, and it was really, really choppy then. Even every time frame was choppy. The wicks were wild. It was like a slow grind up, Mm-hmm. And I was getting chopped up, and I remember, like, I even DM'd you. I'm like, man, like, what are you seeing here? Because, like, I feel like I'm fighting this. And we also started talking in, like, the general, like, margin chat section, and, like, I was able to, flip my bias, because at that time you could say, I tried to trade with no bias, but I was clearly trading with a bias there. And you said, man, like, take a look at this, and I was like, and the other members saw it, and it just to the time. So it's like little things like that. Well, like I said, it doesn't have to be in the dojo, but at least, like, surround yourself with like-minded people where if you're taking and you don't know, like, man, why am I taking these losses? At least, like, fresh eyes could be like, okay, like, why did you short this? Why did you long this? And then if the other person won the trade, say they long this, they shorted this because of this, and then you could see it and be like, oh man, like, how did I not see that? Like, I would maybe
hindsight's
like
a
I said,
bitch.
I was too biased to win.
Yeah, I've been there. I mean, shit, at the bottom I was bearish. Everybody knows that. I was bearish from the top to the bottom, and there was a guy in our group, Xavi, who was all over it. And you called it too. Both of you did, and I was wrong. So, we work together. But anyway, let's move on. This chart that I have in front of me, why don't you talk a little bit about that, and then we'll move on to some questions from the people that are watching.
All right. So, like, it depends. Like, for me, it depends what kind of, like, time frame you trade. But, like, if you were to zoom out, like, on higher time frames, we were in an uptrend, and now, like, we're in a range, right? You want to call it consolidation, whatever you want to call it. But I mean, there's no way about it. It's 9.9 to 8. That's like a huge range, right? Like,
it's huge.
It's huge. I know a lot of guys on crypto Twitter, call the range, the mid range, and all that. Like, if they want to get mad at me saying that, fine. But, like, the fact is, this is a range. Okay, it's ranging about about $1,300, and within that range, there's smaller plays, right? So if you're a high time frame guy and you don't have time to watch, and you're a type of guy who's working, even during the this pandemic, or you have other stuff to do, or you're just strictly a spot guy, and you want to increase your Bitcoin stack, you could just play this range, like sell 9.9 to 10 and buy 8.6. Me, on the other hand, I don't do that. I live off trading, so for me, after every large move that exists in Bitcoin on any time frame, it always ranges. And I say like the
That's
10K
a
to like
gem right
8.
there, guys, by the way.
Yeah.
For
And
sure.
it's like because the reason that happens, and I don't want to give too much away,
Right.
people get liquidated, and there's everybody's uncertain, so it just ranges, right? There's no major move. And then if you look at the chart, the top line and the bottom line there, the two black lines there, that's like the top and the bottom of the range for me. I mean, there's a couple fake outs there, but at the end of the day, it's still the range. And then within that, there's that red line, that 94.75, and for me, that's like the line in the sand. Okay, and like if you want to say the make or break between like 10K and 8K again. So we've closed a few times on like the higher time frames above the red line, but we haven't closed with like any like clear momentum. Like it goes up there and then it just like scam wicks or whatever and comes back down. Like me, I want us to clear like let's say go to 9.7 and then retest the red line. And then if that red line holds again, which it should, and anybody who has a daily chart could just zoom out and you could see where this 94.81 came from.
Eject.
Exactly, yeah. And like this price here, you retest it and it holds. Like for me, that's like a good size long. Like I'm longing that with size, like the 10K. But as of now, it's resistance, right? Like we've closed a couple times above it, but it's still rejecting it, right? So if you zoom up, go down on any time frame, and I've showed a smaller range there in that chart there, like the two smaller black lines. Like that, those are strictly just like support and resistance, nothing crazier than that, right? So you could have shorted the top small black line and taken profit at the other smaller low black line, and you're picking up 200 points. 200 points is like what, over 2% here, and that's for like if you want to say the guys who trade like the 1 hour. Like me, I trade the 1 minute, so it's a bit different for me. Like I could play the range with 50 and 94.80 if I had to. But in any case, like I said, it's ranging. If you're not comfortable in this environment, there's also nothing wrong with not trading Bitcoin and waiting for a clear trigger to enter a trade. And that's why I have those two black lines. So for me, you could see the top black line. Yeah, we closed above it once, but we came right back down. You break out above that, and that top black line to hold, and like on the highest time frames, like the red line to hold, to confirm like a crazy, like a good size long. So for me right now, like it's just ranging. And do I think like stuff like 9K or 8K is off the table? No. Do I think that 10K is off the table? No. Do I think 10K holds another time? I'm not too sure. I don't think so. I mean, but to tell you the truth, like every time I've said that, it's a free short in 10Ks. So, I should have shorted 10Ks and I never do. Like maybe because I think this is the time, but it never happens. But at the end of the day, like I said, there's always like a range on any time frame that you could play, and like where's there going to be buyers, where's there going to be sellers in your mind. And like some guys, the swing traders right now might take a trade, let's say now in validation like 8.6 and TP like 11K. Like I can't do that. I don't want to do that. So I mean that'll like while waiting for that, I could probably pull off X amount of trades and try to grow my account like that. So that's just the way I trade, and like that's just the fact of being a day trader. Currently, as we speak, I'm in no trade, and theoretically, being a day trader, I like to go to bed without any trades open, especially in a 24/7 environment. Or I don't like to have, if I'm gonna have any trade open, it's not full size at the moment. But besides that, yeah.
You ever go to bed with orders in?
Do I go to bed with orders in? It depends. Like when we were trending up, I did. Like now in this chop, I don't. Like when I say chop, I'm talking like from the beginning of May here. Like I'm saying like when we went from like 3K to like, let's say 7K, and you could have just bought every dip. Like I had like when I was long, I had bids waiting overnight. But like if they filled, they filled. They didn't, they didn't. But
right.
And I don't only trade Bitcoin. Like I trade Ethereum. I trade and futures alts.
Yeah, right now, as far as BTC is concerned, we're still right in the middle of this thing. So
Right in the middle, like,
what's the
and
point? It's
consolidating.
like, what are you going to long to 10K? Like, if you're trading the 1 minute, like that's a whole different story, and that's kind of like what we're talking about right now. But
Yeah.
more like in this, like, and I say this all the time, is look at the size. Like, you could just look at the weekly candle, right? Even the 3-day, but look at these weeklies, guys. So as soon as we get up here, you have huge spreads. So this one's from 81 to 10K, 2,000. Again, 81, basically 10K. Another 2,000. 87 to 99, so 1,200. This is like the same. This is about $1,000. This one, 85 to 10.5, another $2,000. So within the week, you're moving between $1,000 to $2,000 each time. And people are opening up 20, 30x longs that have stops that are, liquidations that are $200 away. So if you think you're going to hold the position and you enter in the middle of this and you're like, I'm just going to hold this till it goes to 12K. Like, motherfucker, like, are you not looking at the chart? Like, do you know what your odds are of making it through that? It's very, very low. So, at the end of the day, that's why risk management is important. So, and if you enter in the middle, you have to really be kind of looking at it more of a short-term play, unless for that whatever reason you're so convinced that this is the time it's going to break out. As soon as, me personally, if I'm playing here and I play in the middle, as soon as we start to break to the upper part, and on this chart I don't have it broken down because I'm just showing you the weekly, but there are different ranges within the range, of course. As you start to break through range levels, I move my stop up. So I'm like, all right, if I get stopped out, I still won. But once it starts to get towards the top, if I'm long, I'm moving my stop up, because I'm not gonna, especially on a breakout. On a breakout, you can just chase it, because these moves, it's like you swear like it's gonna go to 10, like your target may be 10.3, but you don't have the target, you don't have your limit order set, and you're like, yeah, when it goes to 10.3, I'll just probably market sell or some shit, or I'll get a limit order filled. Like, it doesn't work like that. It goes to 10.3 for 5 seconds and then it's gone. So you got to have your orders set in advance. And if not, then you need to be moving your stop with the price action, like, aggressively. And you need to really be in front of the chart and have other things in front of you as well to make those decisions. It's not like something you can just do. So, that's my take on that.
I think in crypto there's like a common theme that you don't see like in like the other asset classes. Like let's say someone caught, I don't know, 9K. Okay, and it goes to 11K, or
man, this Justin Bieber guy need to shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about you. You're annoying. You're talking. You make this all about you. We're having a conversation, distracting people. So that's why I told you to shut the fuck up. Chris, can you just kick him out? I don't want to deal with this guy. He's annoying me. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Go start your own show. See, I'm inspiring people. He makes this all about him. He wants to tell all these people this bullshit that he's saying. I don't even know what he's saying. All I see is this is the only guy talking, and he's talking like he sounds like he knows something. So go start your own YouTube channel, and that's not facetious. That's honest. Like, you clearly have a message that you want people to hear. So go ahead and start your channel. There, you have my blessing, but get the fuck off of mine. I don't want to hear it. All right? Sorry, Cardi.
It's all right. So like I think in because oriented space, like people, because of what with these margin exchanges with the profits, people long, let's say 9K, and they're holding for, let's say, the 12K, 13K, even 20K, just for the sole reason that they could flex it on crypto Twitter, or they're hitting for the home run. You gotta understand that like the odds of you catching 9K to like all-time high,
you have to be like, if you do that, because I've tried it. What happens is you'll be up like 300-400%, and then you have to watch that go to 50% and be okay with it. And
so
the only way to do it is to walk away, is to not even look at it. Like, you can't look at it. If you look at it, you won't make it.
Yeah.
The only way you can do that is to be appropriate with your position sizing. If you're all in, or like you're doing 20-30x cross with your whole account, you'll never make it. You're going to get emotional. Trust me. But if you're risking 5% of your account, which is a lot, but let's say you enter towards the bottom of this range, right? Let's say you caught like a dip down here, because we caught it. We caught the first one at 83 to 86, and we gave the re-entry. We're like, yeah, like, hold on, we're going to be at 9K like within a few days. Don't worry about that. This is going to 9K. But the thing is, if your target is a full breakout, 12K, whatever the case may be, like you longed 83 and you watched it go up to 10K, and then you watched it go back down. And some people can live with that. I mean, me personally, I know myself, I wouldn't be able to do it. So, like you have to set a plan with your trade and be realistic about it. And when you're making a serious range against resistance, it's like you could sell at 10K, and then if it goes over 10.5 and starts to move up and does something like this, so let's say we break out and it pops up and then it bounces back down and then it goes sideways and then it starts to inch its way up, right here you could be like, oh shit, this isn't going back down, I'm getting in now. And all you missed was 10% of the move, and this can end up breaking up higher. But from 95 to 10.5, that's 10%. You don't need to ride it the whole way up, That's how I see it. And I play alts the same way. So if you've been watching my Twitter feed, I've been putting out a lot of alts, the trades after the trades are done. So I know that pisses people off, because they're like, why the fuck didn't you tell me about this, right? They're like, damn, he just did 50%. They're like, it's got to be a scam. He's not really doing. You could ask the people. It's not a scam, okay? Like, we're on a roll, and we're making a lot of alt trades, because I did a stream with Stillman weeks ago, and we told you alts look good. And, it wasn't something I kept secret. But if I'm playing something like GoChain or Zen Cash or something like that, this is the difference. You were there in 2017. The way it would go in 2017 was I'd be like, this looks good. I'd signal in the dojo, and then I'd start tweeting about it, and then it would fucking pump, right? Yeah. It wasn't TA. It was that effect of get people excited, and people just blindly press buttons. I think people had bots hooked up to my tweets. So that's what it was. Now I post a setup based off of TA that I think I like. And if you look at the dates, it's not like the dojo's FOMOing into it, because there's time, there's re-entries, it's not like there's some huge candle. Everybody's doing their own things. There's so many trades going out that it's not like they're waiting for me to say something or Stillman say something. We all do our own TA. We point you in the right direction, and then people decide to take it or not. So if you look at those calls, it's not like they just popped immediately. Those were technical calls that went right to the targets, and I post them after the fact because I don't want people to think I'm full of shit. But at the end of the day, it's like I don't want to be responsible for influencing a trade. I want to make stuff off of my own analysis, and it's actually extremely gratifying, now, as opposed to what I did in 2017. We've already covered that, but at the end of the day, it feels really good, to be able to do your shit and behind the scenes and be right and be accurate and not have to rely on going to Twitter to get your followers to support your calls, because I see a lot of that. People still do that, and I don't see anybody talking shit to them. There are guys out there that have big followings that will pull a chart up of a $10 million cap and be like, this looks very bullish, and then it fucking goes up. What do you think that is about? At the end of the day, I'm not calling anybody out. This is part of the game, and we need them. But, who am I to judge? That's the pot calling the kettle black. But at the end of the day, I learned, and, I can do this. So, that's why I posted. So if you're salty on Twitter, then fuck you. I don't care. That's the moral of the story. Because we're still going to win no matter what. No matter how much you hate us and no matter how much you doubt, we're still winning. Because we have a model that works. And we're just going to keep doing it. So fuck you. I don't know where I was going with that. But no, I'm just playing around. But no, seriously. I'm sure there are some people that are like, damn, why didn't he tell us? And my thing is I don't want to have that pump effect. And I would love to tell you. And at the end of the day, it's not yeah, I'll do this privately and I'm not going to help you and this and that. You see the streams, we do the streams. I'll help you. I'll give you my thoughts. I'm just not tweeting that way, picking a chart and being like, hey, this looks good and buy at this price and do the targets and all that shit, because that makes it, it makes it more difficult to succeed, or it creates a pump effect, which I don't want. So that's kind of where I'm at as far as doing altcoins. I'm trading them, But if it's below like 50 million or something like that, you're not going to see me really doing too much publicly about it. It doesn't mean I'm not playing it. It just means, I'm not trying to influence any price action or anything like that.
Yeah, and like if anybody's listening and had watched you in 2017, you spoke on the dojo, like just you alone, the way you've evolved, whether it be margin or alts or stocks or anything like that, like any chart you're looking at, like the ICX guy anymore, like you really evolved.
Thank you.
And it's like I look at your calls, like I said, and you and I bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah, we grew together, man. We both of us.
Yeah, and it's amazing how if you're willing to learn, people like, because in this space a lot of people are stubborn and they think they know everything, but if you're willing to learn, and pull back the wool real quick, like and look and willing to evolve and not be stubborn, like there's tons of money to be made in this space, tons.
Yep, that's the truth. But you gotta work for it. This shit didn't just happen, like it took work, and you got to do more than, because like everybody's like, yeah, we're all gonna make it, guys, but the reality of Twitter, like everybody's gonna make it, we're all gonna make it. That's not the case. Everybody is literally playing against each other. So we all can't make it. Somebody's got to not make it for us to make it. And if the guy that you're sitting next to is doing more than you, and you're just bullshitting or doing emotional shit or not taking it seriously, then that person's probably going to end up taking your money. So, it's a cutthroat game. So don't get it twisted. But anyway, we've been going for 45 minutes. It was a little bit longer, but it was a lot of fun.
I liked it.
Yeah, we do about an hour on this show, so I got 15 minutes for the audience to ask your questions, and we're going to talk some stuff, but let's do this rapid fire, okay, guys? So, first question. I don't know. Kalo, Cardi is balls deep in finance, can we talk about the expiration of options on Friday, I believe? What is usually the overall effect on the market? Thanks.
So when you look at options, there's weeklies and there's monthlies. Usually the monthly expirations, there's more volatility. Isn't that? But yeah, I mean, like you're gonna have, if you want to say, options mania, Robinhood era that we have now, it was a bit different, but now stocks tend to move much more on a Friday now, to fulfill the option strikes that are the most popular, and it depends how you want to approach. It depends how you want to approach trading. Like, are you in options as a hedge? Are you in it to make money? And are you playing for a lottery? Are you buying things that are extremely out of the money? Are you paying a high premium for in the money? What do you think? And at the end of the day, in the dojo, Xavi is like, and D King are the options experts. They know better than I would. Even though I come from a finance background, I know options, but I can't say that I'm an options expert. I mean, I know the Greeks and all that, but I'm not a strategist when it comes to the options. But I do play them. I mean, to not right now, you're just missing out on money. But having said that, no, not 3:59 on a Friday. We're talking like going to be after 2 p.m. I think it kind of dies. You're kind of,
Your mic's kind of bugging out a bit.
Oh, sorry.
No problem. Sorry, I'm just checking something out. So, bouncing muffin. The people that won't make it don't do TI. See, that's not necessarily the truth. I think that if you want to be involved in any of these markets, you should know something, but it's not always the truth. Some people don't trade off of the same way other people do, and FA, or at least perceived FA, can do the same, have the same effect as technical analysis. A really fantastic technician, regardless of technical or fundamental, can both find success. So I'll give you an example. Within crypto, if you did research and you found those Uniswap thing going on, like, or some of these coins that if you're really good at researching and getting a sense of, I mean, it doesn't mean that it's actual value, but you're analyzing what the market will buy and what's pumping. I mean, there are people, basically the gem hunters, quote unquote, have done very, very well this year. I mean, there are coins that are doing 20, 30 X's, and these guys don't know a shred of TA. You can TA these things, but they don't need to know it. They just have done their own research and they're finding success. So at the end of the day, you either win or you lose. Now, can you be a gem hunter and know some TA? That's the most advisable thing, because it'll help you with your entry and it'll help you with your exit. But it doesn't mean that, just because you're not a TA guy, like, that you can't make money. I wasn't a TA guy, and I did pretty freaking well. So, at the end of the day, had I known more TA, I would have seen all the signs of, hey, let's get the fuck out of this market. But at the end of the day, also, if you're analyzing the sentiment and you have some experience, you could have known the top was in without actually looking at a chart, just by scanning the way people were behaving, the stuff that was happening. In retrospect, all the signs were there. So, I would recommend at least learning a bit, but just because you don't doesn't mean you can't make money, because there are plenty of people that investors, whatnot, that make a ton of money in markets that don't know a shred of TA. RSR update. So the last stream, we were in this dip here, and it bounced right out of it. This is a bullish-looking thing that's going on here. I would say about 56, 57 is the next area that I'd be looking at. But, in the last stream, I said there's a decent chance that we break out to a new all-time high. So that would have to take this out, the 60 level. So if you're in it now, like, all eyes are on 60. You want to get above this. If it gets above this, I think we're going for it, guys. And there's a lot of 4chan type shit. This coin. So we were talking about 2017 versus 2020, and comparing, like, the coins with 2017 coins. So to me, when I said RSR, it's like RSR reminds me of Chainlink, guys. Like, it really does. I couldn't tell you what either of them do. But, at the end of the day, it has that Chainlink kind of feel to it, where it took a little while. When it first came out, Link was hot, then it dumped, it created a bunch of bag holders, and it created an uptrend that just didn't stop. And I had all the 4chan on it, and people were believing in it. And, obviously there needs to be some sort of fundamentals behind it, and RSR does seem to have some of those. I'm not saying it's better than Chainlink, because the Chainlink army will attack me, but just when I was comparing them, like, it seems kind of like Chainlink before it got really popular. Tezos reminds me of EOS. It's a Ethereum competitor, or Ethereum F killer that's got a larger cap, but even though it's a larger cap, it still can perform, and it's been on a crazy uptrend. Like, if you guys follow me, I've been on Tezos for a while, but Tezos reminds me of EOS, and Chainlink RSR reminds me of Link. So, there was a couple other. Hex reminds me of BitConnect. And we'll see what DAG is, but yeah. Cardi, how many hours roughly do you spend trading a week?
I'd say roughly like 60.
60 hours.
Maybe more.
Tough way to make a living, man. Shit.
Well, that doesn't mean I'm always in a position, right? I'm just watching, right? There's other things you could do at the same time.
I enjoy it too, though. Like, I'm just breaking balls, but
yeah.
It's not easy.
Okay. Yeah. No, I agree. It's like you also have to understand what type of trader you are. If you're trading in 1 minute, then an hour, you might not have a trade for 3 days.
Yeah.
If you're a swing trader, right? You're a swing trader. You might have a trade, this whole month.
Yep.
Right.
Yep. If it doesn't hit,
it doesn't hit.
If it doesn't hit, it doesn't hit.
if you're a scalper and Bitcoin is like right now, I don't know if my internet's screwed up, but like it's been
94.12. So let's look at the 1 minute.
yeah, it's been like
All right.
this
So what do I see?
right now, but you know, I would if
I don't know. You're breaking up a lot. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
also if I wanted to like get some volatility, I would look at Binance futures because those alts probably, you know, there's probably one alt that's moving more than Bitcoin right now.
Yeah. So, what do you think of futures being in contango currently?
I didn't even look at futures. I don't even look at them. You're talking Bitcoin or like SPX and all that?
I don't know.
Someone asked that?
Yeah, somebody asked that. Stan Smith.
I assume they're talking about the Bitcoin futures. I don't even look at them. But the thing you could take a look if you're going to look at futures, just understand that people that are buying futures are speculators in the future. Like saying, you know, it's pretty much a sentiment gauge. That's the only way I would look at it. I wouldn't look at it any other way. Like I won't trade it. I don't have to, but like it's a great way to look at sentiment. So if
I thought RSR was bigger than 30. What's RSR's cap? Oh. I mean, listen, there's 50 people watching. I can say what I like, okay? You don't like it, but the fucking guy. 32. Oh, all right. It's small. Oh, well. You know, at the end of the day, you know, whatever. If it pumps, it pumps. Good. I don't give a fuck. But this guy's talking about Bitcoin, by the way.
he's talking about Bitcoin? Okay, yeah. So it's just kind of bullish, and you could imagine everybody's bullish now because they're so close to 10K. I don't know what future the guy's talking about because, like I said, I don't have the futures open in front of me. There could be any time frame.
You think everyone's bullish?
Any expiring month, and I don't know what the exchange is because every exchange has different futures. Like derivative futures are different than BitMEX. But let's say if they're in contangos, as he says, you know, you could say that the speculators are bullish on a future price. And I'm also going to be honest when I say this. I think because of the introduction of options across several exchanges, I think the futures are getting more and more illiquid. Because you could just trade the options, no liquidations, you know, where people are getting liquidated on shitty wicks on future expiring contracts. To me, I think the options market is picked the future trading. So you want to say like I don't even know what the expiring M or something like that, M20, yeah.
All right, so Zill, like in the stream with Stillman on this dip, I said, hey, this can probably 2x. It was damn near a 2x, pretty close, 90%, something like that. Get the blow off top wick here, right at the neckline. And remember what Cardi said about after a big move, you usually get some chop. So we're seeing that now. I'm not in this. This can do like this forever. You know, not forever, but for a while. I want to see this clear this level. So if we get above like 330, 350, now I'm interested again. I'll wait for this to kind of do its thing and then find something that looks like it's ready to pop right now. I don't know how long it's going to do this for. So for Zill, it's kind of like right now you're more of a buyer, but you got to be, you know, a seller around here. So you can play this wave if you want to day trade this or like kind of like scalp it. You start playing around here. So anything in here you're buying and anything up here you're selling, and you just, you know, like that. That's it. That's how you play this until this breaks above here. Once it gets above here, then you can start to pay attention and look for it to leave the range. That's how I see Zill. So hope that helps. We're almost done. So let's see. What else? Oh yeah, let's look at the stocks. Look at SPY. All right. So if you look, this has been a nice recovery. This area is clearly a resistance. You have not perfect, but you can see it. You have this, now this. But on this move up, dip, 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 dip. I mean, how many times did the people say the top was in? So I know a lot of people said the top was in like here. Now we're bouncing. NASDAQ's looking a little bit better than this because it made a new all-time high already. So we crossed this level on NAS. But, at the end of the day, it's a nice-looking trend. I wouldn't be too bearish. But, I'm seeing a lot of people with the second wave fear. And obviously Portnoy is with the Robinhood traders and whatnot. The kids that they're saying. It does kind of evoke those kind of, hey, it's the top, look at this shit. But people don't realize, like, in 2017 crypto, it was like the top, it felt like that for a while. It wasn't like it just like happened like blink of an eye. Like it was a very, very strong run that lasted, and a lot of stuff didn't make sense, and it happened for months and months and months, and the RSI was overbought for months. And funding was 0.3 paying shorts for a long time. So, like you said, if the market's irrational, it can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent, right? So, I see a lot of people trying to counter trade Portnoy, but I wouldn't stand in the way of the trend until it's confirmed to have reversed. And if you look at the fundamentals of what's going on, I mean, we're printing a shitload of money, and you have, Sunday night it was Bank of Japan. The Central Bank of Japan said, we're not going to hesitate to continue easing and continue buying. I don't think the Fed's going to stop. And, if the dollar is being devalued, people need to park. Smart money is going to continue to park it in assets that will go up rather than just hold on to dollars. So, if this wave breaks out, and this can go on like this for some time, but if we start to break out and cross through and make a new high, like this run's gonna get pretty serious. So, you don't even need to participate. Like if you're just looking at the index, like right here is kind of like a no trade area for me if I was trading this. But there are individual stocks that we're looking at that are doing great and they look good, and then they do what they're supposed to. So, like OPS for instance, like this is dumb bullish. Like if you were watching the Instagram, it's what is it, KJ Trading Dojo. Like there's a shitload of content that comes from me and all the admins. So it's not some people that think about the dojo as like just KJ. No, it's me, Cardi, Stillman, Xavi, Chris. Like we're a pretty strong team together, and we complement each other well. But that Instagram is run by all of us, and there's a ton of content that goes out on there that you won't get from my Twitter, you won't get from anybody else's. Goes out there, and we talked about these type of plays. So Mark, OPS, there was another one that we hit that they're like, pretty crazy gains. So there's a lot of free calls going out there. I would pay attention to it. Anyway, so it's 10 o'clock. I think we're about done. I'm gonna do one more question. How does a company go up in value if the value of the dollar goes down with inflation? How does a company go on? Well, the stocks, this is just the perception of the people trading it. Just because the valuation of the stock and the total capitalization is a certain price doesn't mean the company's actually worth that much. But exactly. At the end of the day, like, so for instance, look into OPS. This was Xavi's call. He did FA on this. And they're acquiring a company called BurgerFi. And Xavi has a BurgerFi by him, and he says it's off the hook. So we're comparing BurgerFi to something like Shake Shack, which is valued at $3 billion as per its price, and BurgerFi was at $90 million. So we're looking like, okay, well, if Shake Shack can get to $3 billion, then like that's kind of the ceiling for this around the area. We're at $90 million, and we looked into the team, we looked into what's going on, and we feel pretty good about it. So, that's an asymmetrical trade, as Tika would say. And we enter here. this is where we got in, like this. So, you know, I already took profit on it. It doesn't mean I think it's done, but, you know, it did a 2x in like 2 days. So 3 days. So fuck it. I'm taking profit. But ultimately, I mean, this is a longer play. All right. So, yeah, I would check it out. I don't think it's done. Xavi definitely doesn't think it's done. So, any thoughts on XTZ? All right, last one, XTZ. Vet Futures. Futures I think it caps the upside. That's what I've seen. The altcoins that have futures, like on Binance and FTX, it seems like it caps the upside to me. So I'd prefer to, if I'm not trading with leverage, I mean, you can still trade it, and it's nice to have the option to trade it with leverage. But I think it caps its potential for like that moon run. Like, you know, if you're looking for the coin that does the 100x, it's not going to be on any of these exchanges. It's going to be on Uniswap. It'll be on Tradeboi. It'll be on some exchange that doesn't even exist right now. It could be on Bittrex. Something's going to do 100x, I think. We'll see it. But you won't buy it on Binance, or, you know, it won't be bought on Coinbase. None of those coins, I think, can do 100x. I think it'll be something that's like $1 million market cap or lower, that's kind of niche, and then it just starts to blow up. Then it gets listed on one of those exchanges. By the time it gets listed on the exchanges, the plebs buy it and it does a 10x, but the people on the other exchange already did a 10x. So that's how you get your 100x. But we'll just do Tezos. All right, so this is kind of like what I expect to see on ZIL, but not in this high of a time frame. But notice how you're seeing this pattern. Quite familiar. So I would venture that, let's see. Can do this a bit more. This area is, I mean, towards the bottom of this range, you just call it like this. It's very simple. Like here, anywhere from here, even borderline here, you want to be buying around here, and then up here you want to be selling. That's it. And it can bounce a couple times before it goes through. Even if it does this, right? So let's say it does this, goes up here, and then goes up. If you sell here, if you sell up here, like you can, as soon as it gets across here, it's not going to go straight up. Like it may do this, right? It can go up here, then go down, go below to fool you, then go, and then take off. So here or here, like you can buy there, and it's like you really don't miss anything. You're missing 5%, and then it makes a new wave and goes into a new level. Like you don't, I always like to sell like between here and here. But once it starts to get over here, then I'm ready to get back in. That's how I look at it. So head and shoulder, I don't really trade that. My guess is it'll probably either bounce now or go a little bit lower than bounce. That's what I would say. But I'm not certain it's going to break the wave. Cardi, you still there? You all right? I'm fine, yeah. Any last words for the people before we vamoose?
No, there's I think we covered a lot of it. We could talk forever, you and I, but for the sake of time here.
Yeah, man. People don't like these long stream.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. I mean, the people watching like it, but the viewers who like click on the thing, it's too long. People don't have the attention. They just want to know when moon. That's really what they want. So
yeah.
Wednesdays I do like a longer one, and then Saturdays I think I would just start doing like a short, like 10-minute, 5-minute thing, video pre-recorded, boom, get it out there, tell you what you need to know, so you don't have to look at my face for an hour to get your hot tip. But the Instagram is KJ Trading Dojo. Yeah, so make sure to follow that. And yeah, thank you. I appreciate you guys tuning in. It was a great audience, except for Justin Bieber. Fuck that guy. But you guys are awesome. I appreciate you watching. And thanks for joining, Cardi. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to talk to, somebody like me.
Thanks, man. I think I'm going to go to bed. I'm exhausted right